I still haven't done the editing on the video of my grandson doing that big walnut bowl. To be quite honest, I've just been procrastinating. It's going to take 4 or 5 hours, and it just don't seem like I can be able to squeeze in the time. So anyway, in the meantime, I have to be doing something that I want to do, so I turned this out of cedar. It's a 15-inch vase. I think it turned out real nice. There's a lot of lessons in cedar. You know, cedar actually turns easy, but at the same time, it's really a difficult wood to turn because of the nature of the wood, especially if you're doing end grain. It's, as you'll see in the video, it's brittle. This happens to be dry, so it makes it worse. And you know, I guess for lack of a better word, it just busts apart real easy. And you'll see I have several problems with it. The base is a total redesign and so forth. So on this video, I did 2 things. I tried to make sure you could hear me, for one. And the other one is that, you know, I try to go into more detail about what I'm doing with the cutting tools and slow it down a little bit. And, you know, I realize there's a lot of wannabes and a lot of beginners out there, and just, you know, just people that enjoy seeing the detail work that goes into something like this. It's not, you know, it's a learned process. It doesn't really come easy. It takes a lot of practice, and it's an appreciated skill set. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed, and let's get on with it. Well, good morning. And there's one smart dog. That's when you hear that noise in the background. It's a chicken house fan. Anyway, welcome to my shop. Hey Brandy, what you doing, buddy? All right. Anyway, here's what I want to show you. Went down to South Arkansas last weekend and to do a little bit of clearing on some property that we deer hunt on. And I saw this cedar that was pushed up by the loggers a few years ago, and I just couldn't resist it, so I cut off a few chunks to bring home. And I'm going to pick one of them, and I'm going to turn a end grain long vase. My wife's been wanting a taller vase. She says I make them all too short, so I'm going to give this a attempt. So let's take it to the lathe and whirl it up. Got it on there. It's severely out of round. I guess the end of it was cut crooked. It doesn't really matter. I went ahead and took my little chainsaw, whittled off a piece right here. It's pretty solid in there, so it's semi-centered, but it's going to wobble for a while. I've turned it up, and I get about 300 RPM. So let me mount this thing on the tripod, and we'll start the whirling. Well, before I start whirling, I thought I'd sort of set the stage for maybe your first-time viewers. My primary weapon will be this homemade tool that I made, and it's named a beaver because it really cuts the wood away. But here's the you know, the story behind it. That's stainless steel. It's 3/8 inch thick. Looks like it's about an inch and a half wide. And what's on the end here is a square cutter with a slight radius. Turn like you see it. The handle is just a piece of, there it is, a piece of persimmon that I got out of the yard. You know, I was going to turn it down and make a traditional handle, but when I started turning it, it just felt good, so I just left it where it was. Now, I'll be wearing a trend filtered helmet. Cedar has a very pleasant odor, but it really sort of gets to you after a while. And because I will be roughing, I will wear a glove and I wear a leather sleeve, because as you know, some of them splinters, they fly off there with a vengeance. So anyway, there we go. My lathe, in case anybody wants to know, it's a Grizzly G0800. It has a 24-inch throat, 48-inch bed, and it's 3 horsepower, and it's a hoss, my friends. You do not stall it. That makes you be more careful, because you know, it's going to keep going. Doesn't matter what you do. So you need to Need to really be careful with this thing. It can hurt you bad. Right now I've got 270. Always bring it up to the shape, back to the edge of the shape. That's the way I do it. Hey, I know it looks rough. Hey, that's okay. I know how to smooth it. All right, move it down and tackle some more of it. Now there's the difference. Much prettier. Down here a little bit, go ahead and wrap this end up. And I'll go ahead and square this end off a little bit better. Got some cracks right here, but they're still in the sapwood. I'm not sure. I got to think about a design here. I'm not sure what I want to do. Just go ahead and get this right. Make sure I'm below center. That's not good. I guess I didn't get that tight enough. Bring it up just a hair. That's something else I guess you need to check. There you go. So right there's your center. I'm aiming to move that down a little bit. Center's center on every device, so you might as well put you a stop there. You can cut on the low side. I do not recommend cutting on the high side. All right, let's finish this up and then we'll sit down and see what, 11 o'clock. Me and Brandy might go have some popcorn. you go. That's almost beautiful. But look here. I was watching a video yesterday. This guy demonstrating carbide cutters. And the statement he made is that the only way you can use a carbide cutter, this one here, is to come in here on the flat and keep it there. He said, you know, you would have to use a skew or something like that to do shear cutting. Well, I totally disagree with that. I cut all the time at a 45 right here. Now, I do recommend that you use one that has a radius for that. If you use the one that's really straight across, it's relatively easy to get a catch. So you come across here very lightly, holding this at about a 45, and you can do it on both sides, and you will get a nice cut. Let me demonstrate it just a little, because I will be using that after I get the shape I want. The faster you can turn it, the better cut you will get. I'm at 955. Now, I got a few little tool marks, but they're minor. Go over a couple more times. Look how, can you see from here to here the difference? And I can go there, you know, a couple more times slower, and I'll get the rest of that out right there. Come around here, there's a little bit of end grain, or sort of side end grain. This thing's at a little bit of an angle. A little bit of roughness, but overall, right here, that's almost ready for sanding. And that's just using a carbide cutter in a shear cutting mode. So there you go. And you can do the same thing with a round cutter, exactly the same thing. So don't let them tell you that you can't do that, and also don't let them tell you can't sharpen it, you got to throw them away and buy new ones. Both of those are fallacies. So there we go. Me and Brandy's going to go eat our popcorn, and we'll catch you in a little while. Well, I went in and talked to the boss a little bit, see what she wanted. She's always saying I make my vases too short. Anyway, she wants, I don't know if you can see this, she wants sort of like that, you know, with about a 5-inch foot and about a 5-inch throat, but you know, just pretty common. So this line you see right here, what that line is, that's how deep the screws from the faceplate go in. So I'm going to come in here with a parting tool and cut this down a little bit just to give me a basis to go by to form the foot. Put a little super glue in this crack. It looks like it runs in about that far, and I'm going to have to watch it. And then I'm going to start. I'm not exactly sure what I'll use. May use a bolt scraper. I may start just doing that. When I start shaping it, I'm going to use whatever seems to be working best for me. So I'll try a few things. We'll see where we go from there. So let's get the face shield on and start our whirling. Well, I like the size of this base, so I went ahead and set my calipers. I'm going to go ahead and use a parting tool and cut this down to that size right there, just for grins. Always check to make sure everything's tight. And it is. So we're in good shape. So I will come in with the parting tool right here, right like so. Rubbing the bevel, bringing it down like this. So you can also, you could raise this a little higher and come in there. I've seen some people come up here like this. I prefer to stay on center best as I can. All right, ready to do it. Small part the exact same way. Bring it down with a parting tool. And you come in here and measure how far in it is. 2 inches. 2 inches from where? Okay, very bottom. So right there is where it'll be. Bring that in 2 inches. I might as well just go ahead and mark this one too while I'm at it. So this from the base is, if I can hold it still, I'm going to say it's 5.5. Just from the base, 5.5. There's where I start my downward angle, right there. Might as well mark it 1 minute too. Alright. When I get those two done, I'm going to do a little rounding action to it. And we'll go from there. Caliper sitting right here. And we'll come in here and cut that down. May have to deal with that crack right there, but I can. I always stop it when I get in between like this because I don't take a chance of getting this jammed in. These are very expensive and I don't want to tear them up and I don't want to take a chance of them getting hurt either. So, we don't like much. Also, a little hint too, I mean it's just the way I do it. I never power up at speed. In other words, I use the potentiometer, speed control, to bring it up and down. A lot of people put it on speed and they turn it on and off. I don't like to do that. That's just me. I even got it a little too small, but that'll be all right. Okay, now I need to taper them both down to there, and I got a catch. See that? That's a catch, my friend. You gotta write that down in your history books. I don't get many of them. When I do, they're a doozy. too. Oh, well that ain't worth a crap. I knew I should have fixed that damn crack. Cedar, by definition, is brittle, especially if it's dry like this is. Cedar has a lot of vertical strength. That's why, you know, they used to make, not here they don't, but maybe up north, but studs in houses were made of cedar because they had the up and down strength, but they have no horizontal strength whatsoever. So we're looking at, see, that's going to be cut out to here anyway. So you won't see much of that, but I need to find that piece and that piece. Well, I slept on this thing last night, and I just don't like it is, so I'm going to change it. I'm going to cut this top down to this first line. And I'm going to taper this down, and I'm going to take the base and cut it down. I don't know if you see that line or not. But there is a line right there where my finger's at, and I'm going to cut the base down here. And like I say, and this is going to taper down to, you know, just taper off. So anyway, got this part that blew out yesterday, all glued back together, and I'm going to attempt to cut it down. I tell you, if it blows up on me, I'm really going to be mad at me. Doesn't look like it warped any last night. Did see a new crack, but I already took care of it. Right there. 98.
Alright, this is going to be an incredibly long video if I don't do something to speed it up. And I have found through experience and through looking at my statistics on my channel that if they get very long, people just don't watch them. So I'm going to talk where necessary, and I'm going to run this at about 8x, and we'll just see what's going on, and maybe we'll make some progress. You know, I thought about putting some music in here on this 8x stuff because the sound doesn't pick up on 8x, but you know, the more I thought about it, the more I said, well, nah, I'm just not going to do that. I just don't like music, so I'm not going to put it on my videos. So we'll do this for a little while, and then we'll just move forward. Yeah, we're going to do a little sanding now. You notice that I don't use nothing but power tools whenever I possibly can. Just makes the job much more quicker, and I would dare to say it's much more efficient. So we're going to watch just a second or two of this, and then we're going to move on to putting the sealer on, and then we'll do something different. Alright, here's the sealer application. I use Minwax cellulose sealer. I get it at Lowe's. I love it. It sands easy, feels good, dries quick. I don't know what else you'd want.
So I got two coats on it, and they're pretty dry. I'm not going to do anything else to the outside until I get the inside done. It's been my experience that it's not wise to spend a whole lot of time on the finish at this juncture, because you don't know what can happen in here that makes you just have to redo everything or abandon the project or whatever. So then you would have wasted a lot of time. And it's just as easy to finish it, you know, when the inside's done as it is now. So I'm going to drill a forster bit hole in it as deep as I can go, and I'm going to use my 3-step approach. When you drill, you can't see it in this picture, but the Jacobs chuck is, you know, right up here, And you normally keep your hand on it. You don't really have to keep your hand on it when you're drilling, but when you're backing out, you need to keep your hand on it because, you know, it could come out of here and it'd go flopping everywhere and you could get hurt. So it's probably wise, unless you've got a camera on it, to keep your hand on it all the time with a glove. I recommend a glove because these gears things, they can really hurt. So we're going to try to go in here real slow, let it find its own center. I'm going to go ahead and proceed with my three-step approach. You just have to watch it and I believe you'll understand where we're going here. Well, am I fast or what? All right, to just bring you up to where I'm at right now, I decided on a totally different tactic. I'm going to go ahead and drill the forestry hole in a total of 13 inches, be down to about in here. And I'm not going to hollow this out, and I'm going to clean this up right here, fix the bottom, finish the outside, and it'll be done. My rationale is pretty simple. It's very fragile wood. I started in there hollowing, and you know, I'm just afraid it'll swarm on me. And there's no functional need to have it hollow inside other than a place to put a couple of stems, which this will provide. So, you know, I would only be doing it to prove I could do it, and I might ruin what otherwise could be a beautiful piece. All right, I'm going to wrap this up now, finish it up, and do a little work on the base, and I'm going to call this done so you can stick a fork in me. All right, I'm at the laser now. And there's a vase in it. Do you remember I did a video a while back on making an elevator in this thing so that I could do things like this? Let me show you. Luckily, it fits all the way to the bottom. It's just the right height. It may be a little close up here, but I think it'll be all right. I've already got it centered, made my centering mark, did my test. I've got the change and everything made on the computer, so I'm ready to engrave. So let me put this back on the tripod, and we will go ahead and do this engraving. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and you know, if you got any suggestions or whatsoever, you know, negative or positive, I listen to them all, and I try to respond to every comment I get. This is the bottom. It has my signature on it, as you can see on the laser. I do a little burp on the laser. I did a little burp on that laser on the video. Mama likes it. That's all that counts. A little heavier than what I thought it would be because I didn't really hollow it out. Even though it's got a 2 1/8 inch drilled hole all the way to the bottom, you can put long stem stuff in it. But I think it turned out nice. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, give me a like and all that kind of stuff, and keep them whirling and take care of yourself.